You're listening to the Valley Labor Report with David Story and Jacob Morrison.
There's 2.5 months until the election is concluded, and so that's 2.5 months for Amazon to start union busting, and that's a good segue into what I wanted to kind of spend really mostly the rest of the show on. We don't have that much time, so I think we'll probably be doing this for the rest of the show. But the first thing, they kind of kicked off their anti-union campaign, Amazon did, with a super boilerplate anti-union website. I mean, if you've ever seen anti-union talking points, they're all here, and none of them are interesting or unique or anything like that. It's all
a package.
Yeah, it's all.
It is literally a package that you purchase.
Yeah, I mean, you just change the pictures in the background, and this could be for any other place that's going through a union election that doesn't want a union. And so, what we wanted to do. We felt, because this is so boilerplate, because this is so uninteresting and not unique, and this is going to happen at any union campaign, I thought that it would be beneficial for us to go through and read to you, the listener, what Amazon is telling these workers, and then tell you the truth or give you additional context, because what they do most of the time is they're not going to actually lie to you. They're going to package it in a way that makes it look bad, or that they're going to package it in a way to turn you off of the union. And it's not necessarily a lie, but it's deceptive. It's very, very deceptive, and they're couching it in language that makes you predisposed to be anti-union. And so we felt like it would be good to go through these, and so that you, the listener, can hear them. And if you go through a union election in your lifetime, or if you have been listening to this show for a while, I know that at one point we had a caller who said, I'm not so sure about your Democrat talking points, but maybe I'm interested in forming a union.
Cut to the chase, Jacob.
Yeah, well, if you're out there listening, this is for you, so that you know what the boss is going to tell you. Okay. Here's the first thing that they say on their website. If you go to their anti-union website, here is the first image and the first text that you're going to see. Hey, BHM1 doers. Why pay almost $500 in dues? We've got you covered with covered asterisks. We've got you covered asterisks with high wages, healthcare, vision, and dental benefits, as well as a safety committee and an appeals process. There's so much more you can do for your career and your family without paying dues.
Yeah, that's. I mean, the pronoun that they used to call the workers doers is absolutely correct.
That is correct.
They're the only ones doing anything, which means they are the ones that should be reaping the benefits of their labor.
That's perhaps doers was revealing maybe a bit. Maybe that's revealing a bit. They kind of overplayed their hand a bit there, perhaps, because they're the ones doing the work. So they should have the labor creates all wealth. All wealth should go to labor. They're the ones doing the work. They should reap the benefits of their labor. And there they go. Amazon just admitted it. They admitted that these folks are the doers. They're the ones making Amazon run. They're the ones that allow them at this facility, at this distribution facility. They're the ones that allow Amazon to do this 2-day shipping. 2-day shipping would be impossible without distribution facilities like the Bessemer facility.
But let's go on.
Yeah, well, so
let's go on before you break off into the diatribe.
I know.
The one thing that the other thing that needs to be brought up is they say that they've got a safety committee. Is it a democratically elected safety committee, or is the safety committee just like every other position in every other company, and the company is going to pick who they want to be a lead person. The company is going to pick who they want to go on what shift. The company is going to pick everything.
And there was an asterisk there in who they've got covered with high wages, healthcare, vision, and dental benefits, because not everybody has those things. They have lots of part-time. In fact, most of the people working there are part-timers, and they do not have the $15 an hour minimum wage that Amazon has. That's only for full-time employees. They don't have dental and healthcare and all of these things. And so the average wage at this facility is $15 $2.30 per hour, which, given the proportion of part-time workers at this facility, leaves a lot of people making less than that. And in fact, that's a lot of people. There are thousands of workers almost certainly there that make so little that they qualify for food stamps. Okay, so cut the BS about high wages. And like David mentioned, appeals process, safety committees, these are all picked by the employers. You don't have any say over it.
And can be changed at any moment.
Can be changed at any time. There is nothing holding them to this. If you get it in a contract, they are legally obligated to do it. So let's go on. The next one says, don't pay for what you don't know. Know the facts. An authorization card or online form is legally binding and may obligate you to pay monthly dues immediately from your paycheck. There are no free trials.
Yeah, I mean, don't pay for what you know. I would say don't say what you don't know. Mm-hmm. I mean, don't make statements that you don't know. Have they asked? Has there been any discussion with the union? I don't know. The point being, they make these blanket statements, and you said you asked me last night, is this a lie? No, it's not a lie. It's not a lie. What it is a stretch of the truth.
Well, I mean, I don't know. I think it's pretty close to a lie because here's what. We're in Alabama. The only people that are going to be voting in this election are Alabamians, and they're voting in an Alabama workplace, yes. And we are a right-to-work state. So even if you have a union in your workplace, nobody in Minor David's workplace is obligated by law or by anything to pay dues.
Even if you sign an authorization card.
That's exactly right. I mean, so there's under no circumstances is signing an authorization card actually going to make you immediately start paying dues. And you don't, even if you do sign an authorization card and you win a union, you're not going to start paying dues until you get that first contract.
Maybe it depends. It depends. Here's the wonderful thing about that is the union, which are the people that vote on it, or which are the people in the workplace, get to decide what they want to do. They determine that, not the company and not the international or national union that they're affiliating with.
Yeah. And, I don't want to make paying dues sound like a bad thing. I just want to make sure that it's clear what the actual legal situation here is that in Alabama. But if you have a union in your workplace, and hopefully these good workers at the Bessemer Amazon facility will shortly, they should pay dues because, we're adults here and we know that nothing is free and that things, you've got to contribute to things, whether that be monetarily or with your time or with both. And to have good things, you've got to do your part. And so, be an adult and recognize that, right?
Yeah, and it's not like these dues are going off into some wild blue yonder. I mean, these dues are used for the administration of your union, of your local.
And this is the way that it is at my union. I think this is pretty standard operating procedure. At every single monthly meeting, we have a treasurer's report, a financial report. We see where we started at the beginning of the month, where we ended at, what our income and expenditures were, and then we vote to ratify it.
And you vote whether you're going to spend it.
And we vote on the budget.
Not one penny gets spent without a majority rule of the people there.
Exactly.
They determine how they want their money spent.
Yeah. Here's the next one. Be a doer, not a doer. Be a doer, not a dues payer. If you're paying dues, it will be restrictive, meaning it won't be as easy to be as helpful and social with each other. So be a doer, stay friendly, and get things done versus paying dues.
Yeah, so here's the thing. Whether you realize it or not, if you're not in a union, you're already paying dues. Mm-hmm. You're paying dues to the company through lost wages, through lost benefits that you could have. So the fact that anybody says be a doer or not a doer, I mean, it's insanity. I just said it. Everything that we make is ours.
Yeah,
it's as simple as that.
And you part of this says if you're in a union, you can't be as helpful and social with each other. So David, you have a couple of stories that I want you to run through really quick on the other side of the break, because saying that if you're a dues payer, if you're in a union, you're not going to be as helpful or social with each other, that's a bunch of baloney. Like, that's so silly. Under what circumstances would that be the case? I don't know. We're going to talk about it on the other side of the break. Stay tuned.
You're listening to the Valley Labor Report with David Story and Jacob Morrison.
All right, folks, welcome back to the Valley Labor Report. My name is Jacob Morrison, here with my co-host David Story. We are moving right along through this anti-union propaganda that Amazon's put out on their website. And so we were talking about how one of their things said that being a union member means that, quote, it won't be as easy to be as helpful and social with each other. And so, David, I talked to you. I told you the thing that I wanted you to mention.
You wrote the script for me in the commercial. I mean, it's insanity. You know, there's a reason why we call each other brothers and sisters, is because, you know, we look at each other as family. I talked about right in the last segment with Mindy about how the reason that I got involved is because of the fight that the people that came before me made for me, and the reason that we are able to be on this air is because of folks that have fought for us before us. My father being one, Joe out there listening on the radio with him, fighting, you know, for future generations, but also the fact that, you know, what you mentioned, we've got people that it changes your life completely. The fact that you have good health care, that you don't have to worry about your children, your spouse, or yourself getting sick and not being able to afford to pay for, or to go bankrupt paying for their medical. The fact that you've got good retirement, the fact that you got good wages, and the brother stood up at the conference, you know, and basically broke down, you know, started crying because he was that, emotionally attached to what had been done for him, and not done because we wanted to gain something, you know, not done because we're hiring a anti-union firm so we can continue making profits. It was done because we actually care about the workers that are around us every day.
Yeah. I mean, that's powerful. You know, like a grown man standing up in a convention, basically testifying in front of mostly men, and he was so moved by the love and respect and solidarity that those sisters and brothers had showed him that he was moved to tears. I mean, that's important. And Amazon is telling us that being a union member means that you won't be as social or helpful with one another. I mean, what a load of baloney.
Well, but to their point, you're probably not going to be as social with Jeff Bezos whenever he walks through the plant, because you recognize that he is exploiting you. Right. He is exploiting your labor, and he's flying around to Barbados and to, you know, every country that he wants off the backs of these working people.
Yeah. But you'll be more social and more friendly with the other people who actually do the work. Yeah. And that's what's important.
Yeah.
Here's the next thing they say. Do's mean don'ts. Don't buy that dinner. Don't buy those school supplies. Don't buy those gifts because you won't have that almost $500 you paid in dues. Why not save that money and get the books, gifts, and things you want? Do it without dues. So here's the thing here. They're throwing out $500. That's $500 per year. Almost. So I don't know exactly what the RWDSU, what their dues look like, but that $500 number, they get that from dues at other RWDSU plants in Alabama.
Well, I can tell you exactly what their dues look like, and it's something that we talk about consistently. Their dues will look like what the workers want them to look like, because the workers that form that union, those workers in Bessemer, Alabama, will determine collectively and democratically exactly how much they want to pay in dues.
That's exactly right. And you know, even if it is $500 a year, let's say it's $500 a year, that's like $40 a month. That's like a couple of streaming services, okay? It's doable. And the real question is, what do you get from it? The answer is that obviously getting a union in place doesn't necessarily guarantee anything, but we can look at the data and we can see that union members consistently make 10, 20, 30% more than non-union members, non-union workers in similar instances. You can look at the stats, you can look at the safety, you can look at the healthcare, the retirements. All of it is better.
Here's a perfect example. I was just talking to a member about this last week in reference to, what was her name? Taylor Barnes. You know, she was asking to help find some workers at Lockheed Martin in Cortland. Lockheed Martin does wiring harnesses for missiles. We've got a department in our plant that does wiring harnesses for rockets, for our rockets. They make it almost to the T, double, not 10%, not 20%, 100% more than what the exact same workers at Lockheed doing the exact same job less than 20 miles down the road, double. You're talking about going from $20 an hour to $40 an hour.
Yeah.
That is the difference.
Yeah. And there you go. And look, I don't know but it's going to be up to these workers down in Bessemer to negotiate on their own behalf, because they are going to be the union when they have that. But we can look to see what other union workers have done, and we can say that it is extremely likely that they will come out not only ahead of where they are, but significantly ahead of where they are. Here's another one. Will I have to go on strike? Here's some language here. If a union calls a strike, that's interesting wording, everyone is expected to go on a strike, even if you need to keep working. Unions try to prevent people from working during a strike, even though you are legally allowed to do so. Unions may even punish employees who try to continue to work. If a union calls a strike, now that's an interesting. It's correct if a union calls a strike, but who is the union? The union is the workers. How are strikes authorized? Strikes are authorized by a democratic vote of the membership. Union bosses in no union across this great nation does a union boss, quote unquote, does the president of a union who is democratically elected by the membership, in no union does a union president in the international tell workers to go on strike in a facility. People who are bargaining under a certain contract vote on whether or not they want to go on strike, whether or not they believe that it is necessary to secure better pay and working conditions.
And it is so rare these days. I mean, if you look back historically, the strikes were extremely, extremely dense in the 70s. When we've seen great benefits as well, but it's so rare these days to go on strike. I mean, it's a scare tactic. It's the same. It's the exact same scare tactics they use in every organizing drive across the nation.
But sometimes they do go on strike, and it would be good if more people went on strike, because we need to assert our power more often, and we could get more if we went on strike. But the big thing is that if you go on strike, it's because you and your fellow workers, your sisters and brothers on the job, decided that that was the best thing to do for you and your families, and you decided to risk your livelihood for each other and for a better future. Okay? That's a good thing. That's a good thing. The rest of it is
Lining it down.
Yeah, the last thing that I'll say is the rest of it is more or less the union can't guarantee you higher wages or better working conditions, blah 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 blah.
Nope. They can't.
That's true.
I mean, they can't. That is absolutely true.
That's true.
But if you look at data, and that's kind of what we always try to go back to, is data driven.
Facts and logic.
Yeah, screw your feelings.
Yeah, facts don't care about your feelings. If we go by facts and logic, we can look at the data and see what other union workers have been able to do for themselves and their fellow workers, their sisters and brothers on the job, and it's better. Okay? It's just
better.
Facts don't care about your feelings. We're just laying it out for you. Facts and logic.
We make double. We make double what the exact same workers doing the exact same work 20 miles from us, working for the exact same company. Yeah. Lockheed is 50% owner in our company. Right. We're working for the exact same company. If the company was so benevolent, you would think they'd be willing to pay those workers the same.
But they don't, because they don't have a union. Folks, this has been the Valley Labor Report. We will see you next thanks for tuning in, folks. We appreciate your time. If you want to see what we're doing throughout the week, get our snide quips about the news of the day, then you should follow us on social media. We're on Facebook at facebook.com/The Valley Labor Report. We're on Twitter at Labor Reporters. I'm on Twitter at JacobM_AL. David is on Twitter at Radical Unionist. And you should really go follow our Twitter, folks. We are like 4 followers away from having 1,000 followers on Twitter. Look, the Twitstagrams, the Twit chat, the
Twitterverse.
Yeah. So you should follow us there. If you missed part of the show and want to go back and watch it later, then you can search YouTube for The Valley Labor Report and subscribe to our channel. You can go back and watch the full show there. And we also clip segments and release it throughout the week. So if you don't want to watch the whole show, just one topic seems interesting to you, you can go back through our catalog and see the different things that we've talked about. We also upload the program on more than 11 different podcasting apps. So to see if we are on your listening platform of choice, you can go to thevalleylaborreport.transistor.fm/subscribe. We have a website now. You can go there and check out our work as well, thevalleylaborreport.org. And finally, if you appreciate our work and want to help us stay on the air, then you can consider throwing us a couple dollars a month on patreon.com/thevalleylaborreport.
Yeah. Believe it or not, the corporations are not coming out of the woodworks to help sponsor this show.
Right.
So
and you can tell from our advertisers. Our advertisers are unions, local progressive nonprofits, and union law firms. So and occasionally like other progressive podcasts. So we're really thankful for the advertisers that we do have, but listener support really goes a long way.